Hey everyone, time for another hot take. All-female Avengers movie. It's being talked about. Is it gonna happen? It sounds like it's in development, which means it could happen. Is it a good idea? No. No, it's a stupid woke idea that shouldn't happen. And I'll explain why. The number one reason it shouldn't happen is because the audience for comic books and superheroes has been and still is mostly male. Let me say that again, woke idiots. The comic books, the superheroes that these movies are built around have a male-centric audience. Okay? What does that mean? Well, that means most of the characters, the main characters in the Marvel MCU, are men. They always have been. Yes, there are female characters in the mix, but the majority have been men. And there hasn't been a call for an all-female Avengers ever. Ever. None of the comic fans in the decades that I've been going to comic book stores and hanging out at comic book conventions and talking to comic book fans, never once did a group of fans sit around and go, you know, I wish there was an all-female group of Avengers. I really do. That's never happened. Comic books, comic characters have been judged on their merits. How heroic they are, how popular they are, cool designs and costumes. Never by their gender. It's idiotic to do that. And right now, people are gushing, just gushing over this idea in the news media. I did a take of this video reading an article where I kind of lost my mind, so I had to start over. I went way too long. And you should have just heard this author go on and on about that scene in Endgame. Oh, it was so awe-inspiring. All the female characters together. Fans, oh, they loved it. They loved it. They were so inspired. No, they weren't. Fans remember that scene because they complained about it afterwards. We all complained about it. How stupid it was, how dumb and boring it was, how unnecessary it was, how bad Captain Marvel was, and how bad jamming the movie into that pretty pristine run nearly tanked it for some of us. And how she got wedged into the final movie. And how it was like we were really worried she was going to take over the whole last movie. Thank God that didn't happen. Thank God that didn't happen. Endgame was still a good movie, I think, despite those scenes. Despite Captain Marvel and despite that idiotic scene of female Avengers. What they should have done is finish the scene with Ant-Man and the Wasp in the van because they were doing something and I don't remember ever quite finishing doing what they were supposed to do in the van. There was something that was supposed to happen there. And I still contend that Ant-Man in the MCU is the best character. Hands down. Best character. Two of the most solid movies ever. Love Ant-Man. Paul Rudd, genius. So this sudden we got to do all female. It's so idiotic. First off, Black Widow should have gotten her own movie. They never should have killed her in Endgame. She should have gotten her own movie early on. It should have been Thor Ragnarok. Should have been one movie, and then there should have been another movie with the Black Widow and the Hulk, because they were doing a romance there, and they kind of just let it drop, and that's a shame. That would have been the organic move. Instead, these woke idiots are just salivating at the idea of a all-female Avengers movie, which will be a total failure. One of the articles I read just went on and on and on, like, oh, not only are there going to be females in front of the character, but behind the camera too. As if I sit in the movie theater worrying, geez, were there enough women on this crew? Were there enough women behind the scenes? Oh, I hope so. I hope so, because that makes such a difference. The gender of people, worrying about the gender of people in terms of their jobs is sexist. It's sexist. It would be sexist if you did it for men, and it's sexist that you do it for women. These articles are totally insulting and sexist. You should not listen to these people. First off, I think most of them are all shills anyway for Disney. Oh, they can't wait. They'd be shilling any movie. But the fact that they're doing it and they're draping themselves in women's empowerment, it's such bullshit. It's utter bullshit. These people will disappear when all these movies tank, and they will tank. You know, they talked about all these female-directed movies that are coming out with female characters. First off, you got a movie coming out called The Eternals. Good luck selling that one. Good luck. I don't think that's going to do anything. They're going to try to push She-Hulk. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, Phase 4, for me, for the Marvel MCU, I'm out. I don't care. All the good stuff's done. All the good stuff's been done, and all this woke BS you're going to cram in is driving me right out of it. And most of the fans I talk to are out of it too. They're out of the Marvel Comics. The woke idiots who are running Marvel Comics, in my opinion, they're woke idiots. They are just driving that right into the ground. Right into the ground. The fan base is furious at them. They despise them, and they've left. They're done. They're buying the old stuff. The old stuff's selling great. Oh my God. The old stuff, that's booming. That's booming. The new stuff, you can't give it away. You can't give it away at a comic book convention. Nobody's looking for the new stuff. No one. I used to go to conventions, and it would be the hot book. Oh, it's $50. It just came out last week. Hot book. No hot books. No hot books anymore. It's all the old stuff. People love the old stuff. This wokeness is killing comics. It's killing Hollywood. It's definitely killing the MCU, in my opinion. Definitely killing it. The one article I read said, Avengers, female Avengers is going to be something like female Avengers is going to be a fan favorite, which just made me laugh out loud because I'm in comics, as most of you probably know. I write for The Simpsons. I've written for a lot of other comics. And I've worked with guys who have done everything. And I used to host a TV show about comics. I interviewed just about everybody in comics. So, when we would talk about a creator or a character that publicly we couldn't criticize because we were either working at the company or, we didn't want to like bash somebody in public in front of like entertainment, comic book writers. We would say, our generic response was always, that's going to be a fan favorite. And they actually used that phrase to describe the female Avengers. And it will be a fan favorite. In that everybody's going to hate it, and everybody in the industry behind the scenes, I think, will just be like, oh God, let this be over with. I mean, when you have these characters, like every article I'm reading, they're struggling to lift these characters up and say incredible, wonderful things about them. You don't have to do that when you're talking about characters who are big characters in the comic book world. You don't have to struggle to talk about how great a character of the mighty Thor is. You don't have to struggle. Oh, I got a low battery warning. You don't have to struggle when you're talking about Captain America or Superman or Spider-Man or Batman. You don't have to struggle to talk about these characters. Oh, but I think you do have to struggle when you're talking about a character like Captain Marvel, especially in the MCU. She's got no limits to her power, no real weakness, and nothing really to her that, to me, is worth a damn. You compare her to a character like Black Widow, who's great, a normal woman who's just like kick-ass, who's a super spy. You compare Captain Marvel to, let's say, Captain America. All right, Captain America, who's a super soldier, and he's the peak of human perfection, or just compare her to the Hulk. At least the Hulk got some weaknesses. She's got some problems. What does Captain Marvel have? God, I'm so sick of Captain Marvel. I just want her to go away. I can't wait until it collapses now. I cannot wait to the MCU, Marvel Comics. It all collapses. And it's coming. It's coming. Mark my words. The collapse is coming. They are going to shutter Marvel Comics. And it's going to be rolled into this ridiculous lifestyle brand that will do nothing because they will have driven away every male fan. You know? How many sets of female underwear with comic books on it you're going to sell? Okay, sell a lot of them. You could have sold that and sold regular comics to the guys. You could have had the guys still reading the comics, driving the sales and the interest in this comic stuff, and then they buy crazy comic book panties for their girlfriends. I mean, that makes sense. Does not make sense to say, oh, these pink-haired teenage girls are going to read about Captain America. Oh, no, wait, we can't have Captain America. Well, let's get female Thor. They're going to read about that. Why would they read about that? It has nothing to do with them. How are they even going to relate to a character like that? It makes no sense. These characters were designed 50 years ago or more. 50 or more years ago. And they were designed mostly for boys. So why are you pushing these on women? They're not interested. Most of them are not interested. They won't go see these movies. They won't go see them. They'll talk about them. They'll say it's great that a female director finally got a chance, and then they'll complain on the internet how the fans trolled them and didn't go see the movie. You have to make us want to see the movie. We're the fans. We started it. We bought the damn comics. And now you're saying, well, you're going to have to go see it anyway, or you're a toxic male. No, we don't. We're not. We're out. You're pushing us out. We have no choice but to go elsewhere. This is madness. Madness, woke Hollywood. Pull back. Pull back, I say. Stop it. Just make movies. Just make movies. Stop talking about gender. It's sexist. Stop being sexist. Stop being woke. Just make movies.